Alright guys, friend of the channel, Lily Tino, just got nuked. 506,000 views 11 days ago. The trans TikToker everyone hates, Lily Tino downfall. You know, the word downfall there, interesting choice. Because you gotta be up to go down. Nah, you are never making it out of the hood. There is no downfall when you were never on top. How can you say you fell off if you were never on? The little bit of clout you got, quotes and on the word clout there, is because people don't like you. The attention you get is because you are a trans nuisance. You are the person that is the reason for transphobia in the modern day. Whether that's like because of yourself or because of what you represent, different strokes. But at the end of the day, no one likes you, little bro.
Meet Lily Tino, the most hated
Sheesh, bruh. Whew, a face only a mother could love.
TikToker who streams herself bullying waitstaff, snaps bathroom selfies with strangers in the frame, and melts down.
I can't get over the fact that you wearing a mustache. Like, this is not gender affirming.
On every TikTok because
wait, maybe it is though if you want to look at it as like, the actual gender.
Dared to say, sir. She baits people for misgender.
Okay, there we go. The shirt that just says girl. I like this. This is good. This is what I voted for.
Slip-ups, then weaponizes those clips for clout, turning real workers into props for her outrage circus. From publicly rating Disney women's restrooms to declaring Kurt Cobain probably trans, Lily's shock tactics finally backfired. And the internet couldn't be happier.
I hate people saying that you have to be like, no, it's only Lily Tino. It's not all trans people. People, they're more focused on saying stuff like that than actually criticizing Lily Tino. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice that there's always a barrier to entry in this conversation, There always has to be some, acknowledgement with your tail between your legs about how, guys, before I criticize Lily Tino, and before I talk about how this person is a predator and a bad thing for the universe, let's all take a time to say how much we love trans people and name one nice thing about a trans person you've met recently. There's always this warm-up ritual that everyone has to do in society before they criticize minorities, and I'm so sick of it, It's so lame. You always gotta talk about how, you don't actually got beef with the marginalized group that somebody's a part of before you shit on them. So lame. I hate it. I'm not gonna, it's not all furries, but this one just so happens to be shitting on the sidewalk. But I would never hate furries. It's only this one person. Guys, stop with all the sanitizing. All right, stop. Just say what you think. Stop overthinking it. You guys need to be retard maxing. Just be a retard. It sets you free. But don't be this kind of retarded. This is like the women's restroom. Maybe if I manipulate language and then I become what I don't actually am not, and then it's like you're doing too much. That's the kind of retard that people don't like. Be a happy monkey or retard.
This is the satisfying down.
Nah, I'm criticizing Lily Tino. There are people in the community who use it to be a predator and they need to be called out. No, listen, the reality is you can criticize Lily Tino, but don't do this whole song and dance where you stop and then you talk about how great trans people are before you do it because you think that it's gonna better what you have to say and add more credibility to it.
Downfall of TikTok's most hated creator, Lily Tino. Before she was Lily Tino on TikTok, she was known as Nick Contino, a shy kid escaping into video games to cope with a life that didn't.
Whole lot of mid, bro. Whole lot of mid. The Sims, Diablo, Half-Life, GTA 3, mid.
Feel right. Born in the early 1990s, Nick grew up loving games like Pokemon and World of Warcraft. In those virtual worlds, Nick often played as female characters, notably a pigtailed girl avatar named Lily, long before coming out as trans. I spent hours in Warcraft, slipping out of the real world in which I lived as a cisgender boy named Nick, she later recalled. The fantasy of living as a girl provides.
So that's just autogynephilia. This is just you wanting to be a woman because it looks cool. So it's just the aesthetic, really.
Provided solace from the pain and denial that marked Nick's youth. This dual life planted the seeds for a future transformation.
That's crazy.
Fast forward to adulthood. Nick.
Imagine getting so turned on by how you look like in Minecraft that you decide to cut your dick off IRL. Great choice.
Built a career in the video game industry. By 2021, she was a business development lead at a gaming startup.
Wait, what? That's actually not even a bad gig.
Even wrote articles about games. But
I ain't never heard of no Ryu games. Oh no. Oh no. And then the logo for your company is just Vaporeon's asshole.
Inside, Nick was struggling with gender dysphoria. In her late 20s, she finally...
And I just like, why would you give this up? This is like not even a bad physique. I mean, obviously a little minoxidil wouldn't hurt, but...
Nick was struggling...
Tectone's bald.
...with gender dysphoria. In her late 20s, she finally found the courage to begin her gender transition, adopting the name Lily Contino, often stylized as Lily Tino online. As she later explained, her life transition began with a career transition, leaving the corporate gaming world to live authentically as a woman. In mid-2022, Lily publicly came out as transgender, and her personal journey was about to go very...
This person has to be a psyop. Like, was this person kidnapped by the FBI, Trump's FBI, and turned into a domestic terrorist to ensue negative sentiment against trans people in America? Like...
public. In November
I found a big clue. Okay.
2022, Lily Tino posted her first TikTok video, beginning to document her transition from male to female. At 32 years old, she openly shared her facial feminization surgeries, hormone updates, and everyday challenges.
Please get this sub 5 off my screen.
The response was overwhelmingly positive at first.
Overwhelmingly positive. That's the problem. Y'all greenlit this.
Viewers flooded her early videos with support. These heartfelt comments show how Lily's
looking good, sis. Let's go, girl. This is the problem. Women, stop doing this. Be bullies. Become a mean girl. I know that the 2000s, a lot of you guys look back at it and are like, OMG, that was so problematic. We did all these mean things, but then you stopped and look what happened, okay? Bring back body shaming, bring back mean girls, bring back bullying, bring back all of these things. It's really that simple. But what about the bad bullying? Okay, the bad bullying, obviously not good, but the problem is there are called sacrifices, and you gotta make sacrifices in life. Guys, let me ask you guys in chat, would you guys rather have all bullying and then some people who don't really deserve it get bullied, and it sucks for a small portion of the people, but the majority of people who get bullied are people like this, you know, performing antisocial behaviors that need to be ridiculed, you know? So let's just say, would you take the trade-off of bullying gets brought back and it stops all of this, but like 10 to 15% of the people getting bullied don't deserve it? I'm taking that deal 10 times out of 10. The fuck you mean?
Transparency resonated with people looking for an uplifting transition story. One of Lily's first viral posts was a montage of her physical changes over time, a common TikTok trend. It struck a chord and garnered hundreds of thousands of views. Encouraged by the feedback, Lily leaned into being a full-time content creator, even calling herself a professional transgender person in her
You know what that makes me? A professional transphobe. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Boom! That's how I do it, bro. I'm a professional. I really am. I should offer some coaching. I should make a Fiverr listing where I offer professional transphobia coaching. I'll teach you all, you know, all the talking points, what to say, yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Bio. With a warm smile and colorful outfits, she portrayed a hopeful narrative of living authentically. In these early days, Lily's public persona was largely sympathetic. Little did her new fans know the tone of her content was about to take a sharp turn. Lily's TikTok lives also became a staple. She would stream her daily outings, especially her meals at restaurants around San Francisco, inviting viewers to...
You guys hear this background music? This is the most eerie shit I can imagine. So fitting, though.
Especially her meals...
This like dungeon music with reverb, like you're about to fucking die. And I feel like that sometimes when I watch this content, because it feels like we are dying as a people. The human race is being brought down, and we are shackled by people like this who are continuing to make people believe that this is how life should be lived.
At restaurants around San Francisco, inviting viewers to share a meal with her.
Bro, I'm in Resident Evil.
There and just eating, it's like you're sharing a meal with me.
Leon!
Explaining that seeing a trans person in a mundane setting could foster understanding. It was a noble idea, using food and candid conversation to bridge gaps. By early 2023, Lily had a modest but growing following, and her streams were picking up momentum. them.
Is that supposed to be a dick and balls? The meatballs and the ravioli?
Empowered by her viral fame, Lily didn't simply continue her restaurant live streams, she escalated them. 5 days a week, she planted her phone on a mini tripod, turned on TikTok Live, and roamed San Francisco cafes in search of the next outrage clip. What began as light-hearted Eat With Me content morphed into a spectacle where conflict was the entree. By July 2023, she was testing how far shock value could push engagement. Cue the inappropriate video that happened in Disney.
I'm dating someone who turned their cake pops into a donut.
In which
nice.
a scene with a literal cake pop of a potential gender-affirming surgery. Although at this point, these videos have happened more than once.
Disney's gonna ban me for this one. My corn dog is still intact. I'm not.
I've seen this way too many times than I'd like to admit. All, of course, on company time. You know, I'm not watching this shit off stream. But man, oh man, doesn't make it any better. You know, even the fact that I'm getting paid to watch this video and to talk about how this is the detriment of society and how we are all crumbling and sinking to depths never seen before as a people, as a culture. The West has fallen, by the way. You know, the fact that I'm getting paid for it, it doesn't make me happy. Like, regardless, there are still people who don't know that there was a world before this. There are people who are raised, maybe after 2010, to where they look around and, like, there's, like, a guy, you know, holding up a fucking corn dog, and he's, like, either sucking on it or pointing to it, and how the different areas reflect his cock and balls, and they're just like, oh, you know, yeah, he does that sometimes. Like, no, it didn't have to be like this. You know, there used to be, you know, the $5 footlong, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube. You used to have Type Racer and Run 3 on Cool Math games. There was a world before this that you could have experienced had your parents not allowed for this to be normalized. Had your parents, you know, maybe side with Regina George and Mean Girls. This is stuff that could have been avoided, and that's the point. Really that simple.
Not happy about that, but sadly it takes a long time to turn a corn dog into a inverted corn dog. When I got my cake pops removed,
Like, this makes me think about how the Guitar Hero meal doesn't exist anymore. The KFC Guitar Hero meal from 2009 on r/nostalgia. Like, this doesn't exist anymore. This is gone. And in place we have this. Why? Why is this the present and that is the past? Why can't this be the past and that be the future and or present? The West has fallen.
I specifically asked my surgeon to leave the bag intact. That's because down the line, if I wanted to use my cake pop stick and turn it into a donut, the bag can come in handy. Get banned from Disney. I swear, we're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I noticed some hair regrowth.
Disneyland is meant to be a safe, family-friendly space. But Lily Tino's own livestream antics are turning it into the opposite. Given her graphic, disgusting TikTok videos, many parents now feel the park isn't safe for their kids. For the sake of families, it may be time for Disney to show her the exit.
You Need to Chill
Yeah.
by Juno Dawson.
The way you try to target young children is a little concerning.
He kind of looks like Nick Contino.
You tried to dress up as Miss Rachel twice. You talked about your cake pop
Predator.
at Disneyland,
Predator.
and that's a children's place.
Viewers who'd once praised her vulnerability now complained that she was
Yo, peep that belly roll. Oh no!
performing trauma for clicks. The running theme soon became misgender baiting. A server would drop a casual "sir"
Sorry, is everything okay?
I use she, her pronouns. I'm not certain.
Listen, bro, how are we supposed to know that? You look like a man.
Lily's face would light up as if she'd struck gold, and the next 3 minutes would be a tirade on camera about pronouns, oppression,
Straight up
and
nonce.
educating the masses. If no one slipped, she occasionally misheard a harmless word.
This is a sickness, and it's everything wrong with the modern world in a person. And I think we needed something like this to exist to diagnose the problem. Because people are uncomfortable, there's unrest, there's people, you know, falling into radical extremism, and they are antisocial, they're isolated, male loneliness epidemic, all of these things, okay? But then to point to something and be like, if we got rid of this, the world would be better. It feels good to know that if Lily Tino was to cease to exist in the form of, like, losing popularity, in the form of getting off the internet, getting arrested, stopping the conversations with children, the world would be better. When people say the world is healing because Arizona iced tea is still $1, I got another way we can heal the world. I got a way that we can heal the world, and it involves a pair of handcuffs.
Then scolded the staff anyway, but everything got so much worse. Surrounded by families, Lily began live streaming from a restroom corridor, rating each women's bathroom on ambience and privacy.
Made it into Disney World. I don't really know what the deal is with bathrooms. No, Florida is really conservative. I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms.
Conservative literally just means, in this context, ironically enough, I know Florida is really against me being in the women's restroom. Isn't it so funny? This person used conservative in a way that makes conservative sound like Jesus. I know Florida is really against me going in the women's restroom.
It's really conservative.
It's like the most justice you can do to the word.
I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms, but I'm about to go and...
That's like saying schools have a very liberal gun policy. Oh yeah, they don't really allow you to have them there. It's like that just makes liberalism sound like the best thing ever.
Use the bathroom because I have to tinkle. If I get stopped, I guess. But I'm a woman, so I'm going to use the women's bathroom, and being in Florida or being in California or wherever isn't going to stop me. So I will report back in a minute once I have hopefully tinkled without issue. When as well as it...
Bro, tinkled in the big 25. How old are you? 30? And you're using the word tinkled? Like, no, that can't be an accident. That can't be just a word that you of all people have in the vocab. It's got to be because you've been watching some, like, I'm going to stop there.
It could have gone. No one gave me any weird looks. Definitely no one stopped me. I walked in, I found a stall. I peed. I peed standing up, which is something I'm sometimes a little self-conscious about with the sound. Like, oh, is there someone peeing standing up there? But you know what? I peed standing up, and it was fine. And then I washed my hands and I left. And you know what? On my way out from the women's bathroom, I took a quick picture with someone who recognized me, and it was lovely. So overall, Disney World in Florida, 10 out of 10. Women's bathroom experience for trans women would.
She snapped selfies inside stalls,
Bro, that's
other women's
crazy.
shoes clearly visible beneath doors, and joked that Florida lawmakers would have a stroke if
someone gave me a weird look when I walked in. It felt icky. I wonder why. And honestly, this should have ended off with something better. I wish someone gave you a stern talking to. I don't wish they just gave you a look. I wish they gave you some sound, some speech, some hate speech, some fucking yapping. Hey, what are you doing here? Get out. You're not supposed to be here. I know that. Your face card declined. All right, let's get the fuck out. There's one right next to you, across the hall. Urinal if you want to go pee standing up.
Beneath doors, and joked that Florida lawmakers would have a stroke if they saw her. Within minutes, Twitter lit up. Parents called the stunt creepy, activists called it reckless, and even some allies said it violated basic decency. Or, though Lily's stunt isn't consequence-free, a woman who recognized herself in Lily's Disney restroom selfies has reportedly filed a privacy complaint with Orange County authorities, citing Florida's voyeurism statute 810.145. If prosecuted...
Bro, I've said this a billion times. This is 100% because it arouses Nicholas Contino, okay? Nicholas decided to sneak off in the women's restroom, not with the harmless intention to tinkle and go number 1. It was 100% to go number 3, and y'all do not know, you do not want to know what number 3 is, okay? You're a predator. This turned you on. You would do this every day if you could. If the laws allowed you to do this all the time, you would, okay? You are living rage bait. You are disgusting. You are a vile creature. Whoever raised you should be studied for how much of a fuck up they've performed, and you should be in jail now.
Prosecutors pursue the case. Lily could face a third-degree felony, up to
felony? Thank God, bro.
5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine.
You know what? That just reminds me. The word felony reminded me that I actually knew somebody. I went to summer camp and there was a person who I met, this woman. Dude, her name was Felony, but with a PH. What the fuck names their kid Felony?
Now we have one person that has officially come forward to press charges against Lily Tino. By now, we all know Lily Tino went to Disney and went into the women's restroom and took selfies with other women and children in the background without
Look at this smug expression. Almost looks like the troll face. You mad, bro? I am mad.
their consent, and then came on TikTok and posted and rated every single bathroom experience. I made a video talking about the fact that that was illegal in the state of Florida, much less, not to mention, it's also against Disney policy to take photos within the restrooms.
That was only the warm-up. At a sit-down restaurant in Epcot, a waiter accidentally addressed Lily as Sir. Sensing viral potential, Lily pounced.
Hold on a second. They should have video sensors every time someone wants to enter the restroom, and it should detect if the person is wearing the rainbow Mickey Mouse ears and instantly lock the door shut, preventing them from entering. A required facial scan before you enter the restroom. LGBTQ sensor triggered. Bathroom lockdown code red. We'd be good.
As Sir. Sensing viral potential, Lily pounced, demanding a public apology and even the removal of the bread tower.
Side bow.
Felt more like choreographed drama than genuine offense. And sure enough, the manufactured outrage sent the views soaring.
That is fancy looking. Cool.
The bottom is from Thailand.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. And the middle one is from India. It's the papadom with the gingerbread chutney.
Okay.
And the third is from Brazil.
And he doesn't give a fuck, bro. He look at this look. There's gonna be
It's the
ready for it?
with the gingerbread
Hold on.
chutney.
That look at the camera with that fucking smirk. I got exactly what I wanted. I lured this cis-het man into my trap, and he will now beg for the rest of his life for his job and his kids, who are malnourished because he is working overtime at the corporate entity known as Disney Incorporated, okay? Doing hours unheard of to try to feed his kids, and he is now going to be in a perpetual cycle of wage slavery because he called me sir.
Okay.
And the third is from Brazil. It's a cheese bread with the guava.
Like, he's like, this conversation should have ended. It should have ended 2 sentences ago when you called me sir. Fuck you.
Thank you. It just like totally sucks the joy out of this bread tower. Makes me want to immediately like leave because I no longer feel like safe here.
I fucking hate this person. I really do.
I'm not gonna enjoy this bread as much because my
Oh God, I'm holding back right now.
Go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower, actually. I think I'd rather have the check, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the training. They're supposed to say friend or just not use gendered language. It's like a pretty big thing that Disney has done. Nothing was wrong with bread. I just don't want it anymore.
Okay, but if you're saying they shouldn't use gendered language, you'd have no problem with being called ma'am. So it's not about gendered language. It's about you wanting to use woman face. Oh, they're supposed to say friend, but they said sir. They wanted to use gendered language. You fucking hypocrite. You literally want gendered language, but just the kind that you prefer. So you want to live in a binary world. You just want to be on the side of the binary that you find to be comfortable because of your sick delusion. Oh, interesting.
Because they apologize doesn't mean she doesn't feel sad or offended. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if you've
Also perfectly good bread.
accidentally ever hurt someone and say, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, do you expect them to be like, oh, it was an accident? Of course, no problem whatsoever. All of that hurt is now undone. That's not how it works.
Sorry about what happened.
It's okay. I would love to pay for the drink, please.
No, the drink is on me too, so...
You don't have, are you sure?
You're good, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Crucially, trans creators blasted her too, pleading, "Please don't judge us by Lily." Parents who'd witnessed the
That's
spectacle
hilarious.
posted statements describing frightened children, and staff
I'll make the trans community an offer. If the person that gets Lily Tino arrested is trans, we good.
walking on eggshells. Disney's own employee subreddit blew up with cast members venting about influencers turning the parks into career-ending minefields. The fallout was swift. Lily lost brand deal inquiries, her daily follower gain flipped negative for the first time, and Bread Tower became shorthand for performative outrage. In that single week, she transformed from controversial to radioactive. Proof, many said, that her live streams weren't about awareness anymore. They were about manufactured martyrdom at the expense of ordinary workers just trying to do their jobs. The funniest thing about all this, though, is that she's now being recognized at restaurants, and some owners don't even want to serve her anymore because viewers are calling ahead to warn that she's just trying to score a free meal.
Could I do the... Oh, ignore it.
Bro, I hate when I nick myself shaving.
No. It's not true.
So many people calling me already.
I'm so sorry.
They calling me because they say they can come here and can order like free food.
They're saying that I'm saying that you can come here and order free food.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah. So can you tell with them like into my restaurant you just order for restaurant.
Oh, I trust me, I understand. I never said that there's any free food. Those are internet trolls.
Yeah.
But if you'd like, I'm happy to get the check now and leave so that I can be out of your hair.
But they just calling me saying, but why did you say like that? Blah, blah, blah. I say I don't know.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, why even, guys, trolls, listen, why is that the first thing y'all are thinking of? That's the worst thing you can do to the business. Hey, this person that's you're serving said you can get free food. How about the person you're serving literally touches children? It's a joke, but not really close enough, honestly.
There's nothing I
If you're
can do
gonna
about
troll, like, I feel like you can make it a little bit more, urgent.
them. But I am happy to pay my bill now, if you'd like, if you want, if you want.
The food is almost done. I just want to let you know because so many people calling.
Yeah, no, it's not that they're really sad, miserable people that are transphobic.
I love this educational tone. Like, no, they're transphobic, you see? No. I'm gonna now mansplain to you what transphobia means. By the way, love the idea that mansplain can actually be used for good. Terrible word, love using it like that. Let's talk about the fact that you can literally be arrested for these people deciding to say, hey, you have a predator at your store. They should have done that, but they didn't. Okay, all this troll shit it gets nowhere. If you actually say, hey, this person's a predator, and if people actually look into it, they'll find there's kind of something there.
That try to make my life more difficult. I'm sorry that you had to be a target of that because you're just here making food and I'm just here eating the wonderful food.
That's why.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Yeah.
Imagine sitting on the internet and calling up a family-owned restaurant and lying to them. If y'all are able, I would...
Yeah, but you were going to use the family-owned restaurant in order to farm a free meal and apologies from a waiter who called you sir. That's what you were trying to do. These people are heroes.
really love to leave this
Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear headphones. Inshallah.
restaurant a significant tip. Our first $10 tip came through. Oh gosh, y'all are coming through. We are tipping $210. That's because of y'all. Thank you for helping make it up to this restaurant.
As Lily's content pivoted toward conflict, the internet's goodwill began to evaporate. On Reddit forums, users started circulating clips of Lily's outbursts. Others, both trans and cis, agreed that Lily's behavior was making the transgender community look bad by reinforcing the stereotype of the overly aggressive, perpetually offended trans activist. The sentiment was summed up by another Redditor. How fragile can you be? I'm non-binary. I would never do what she's doing. Mistakes happen, you correct it politely or ignore it, but this is too much.
I think the mistake is calling it a mistake.
TikTok itself also turned on Lily. Her own video...
Honestly, like, obviously the person who did it made a mistake, but I don't think it's a actual mistake. I think when you call this person sir, you're making a judgment that's based on reality. And if you don't want to live in reality, if you'd prefer to live in someone's delusion because you believe that it makes you a better person, then by all means do it. But don't go out there and say that it's something is an objective mistake or that it's wrong when it's not. Like, you're wrong, actually. But you're allowed to be wrong if you think it makes you a better person.
This is too much. TikTok itself also turned on Lily. Her own videos' comment sections became war zones. Many viewers accused her of manufacturing outrage. Stitches and reaction videos multiplied, with other TikTokers openly mocking Lily's antics. One viral stitch showed a montage of waiters immediately apologizing to Lily after saying "sir" to highlight how none of them meant any harm, and then cut to Lily furiously lecturing them regardless. Even some transgender creators joined the pile-on, saying Lily's over-the-top reactions were unwarranted and harmful. Importantly, Lily's hypocrisy became a talking point. She often insisted that others use gender-neutral terms, like calling customers friend instead of
I feel like the fact that the economy has allowed this person to live a life is a fucked up thing. It's fucked up that this person's making a living. It is. There are people who are struggling. People who I know who just got out of college, who have CS degrees, they're not going to find a fucking job, bro. They're going to make less money out of college, maybe for the first like 4 years, than Lily Tino is making. And it's sad. That is a sad thing.
"Sir, ma'am," to avoid misgendering. Yet in her own speech, Lily would casually refer to servers as guys.
I love money. Don't get me wrong. I like when money goes to good people. This is not a good person. Fuck this person. And fuck the fact that people are sending this person money. I honestly think that the people who are sending him money are almost as bad as him. Because they're literally financing it. They're paying for this shit. They're like, oh yeah, I like that video where you held your cake pops up, which are a euphemism for your balls, around a bunch of kids. Let me give you $10 that I earned. It's so fucked up, man. Honestly, can we make any person who sent this person money subject to investigation? Like, fuck, like, no knock raid this ninja? Yeah, literally. Like, Lily Tino, fuck you. People who send you money, fuck you. The banks that have allowed the people to send you money, fuck you. The families of the people who work at the bank. It's an infinite infection that just grows. Whoever is involved in this operation, fuck you all. You're terrible.
Or assume every—
And I'm working on my vulgarity. I don't like to just say fuck you because it's just too juvenile. It shows that I'm stupid and I'm desperate. I think people swear when they're desperate because they just want something to express how angry they're feeling and their outrage. But I also think that there are certain times where it can be applied appropriately. Because seriously, at the end of the day, what more can be said to this person than go fuck yourself? I can't think of anything better.
Every barista was a he. The irony is how Tino preaches about neutral language while referring to his waiters as he. And in an infamous move, Lily made a TikTok claiming that late Nirvana singer Kurt Cobain was probably trans, essentially assigning a new gender identity to a dead person who never identified as such. As Lily rattled off her evidence Cobain wore dresses, he once said he felt more feminine. An early lyric draft mentioned wanting breasts. Viewers cringed. It came off as profoundly disrespectful and absurdly speculative. If Lily felt justified pronouncing Kurt Cobain as a transgender woman, critics argued, why should she object so strongly to someone calling her sir? That January
I also feel like if you can justify telling a cis person who's dead, or yeah, if you can justify saying that a dead cis person was probably trans, then you can also justify that a dead trans person is actually cis. Like really, you can just do the same thing. You can just reverse engineer your logic and realize how fucked up it is.
Pronouncing Kurt Cobain as a transgender woman, critics argued, why should she object so strongly to someone calling her sir? That January 2024 Kurt Cobain video became the turning point. Overnight, the enthusiasm that once surrounded Lily collapsed into near universal backlash. Even communities that supported her, including trans—
Also, if this is supposed to be anything besides a fashion choice that's meant to rebel, then wouldn't this just make like him a femboy more than anything? Which doesn't even make him that, because wearing a fucking article of clothing, oftentimes, like especially if you're, you know, a singer in a band, there's always some message that you're gonna push, you know, counterculture, whatever. It's not that deep. But this is like, bro, even this is like the stretch that you want to make. If you really want to make this a stretch, say that he's a femboy. But even that's retarded. Trans? Nah, you're Max Prestige retard.
Universal backlash. Even communities that supported her, including trans advocates, turned their backs. They called her out for projecting drama into every situation, saying her behavior reflected poorly on the whole movement. What began as solidarity quickly devolved into collective embarrassment. People
Right.
accused Lily of playing the victim over minor slights, baiting attention by reacting as though everything was about her identity. When she received a polite request
Kicked out a Hard Rock Cafe in San Francisco. Let's go. Someone's got it right.
not to stream inside a restaurant, she saw bigotry. When a delivery went wrong, something out of the restaurant's control, she blasted the staff online instead of letting it go. These moments shifted public perception from advocate to entitled.
Get
It wasn't just
fucked.
outsiders
Get
who were
fucked.
losing patience, it was her own tribe. Her
I
fans
don't give a
pointed out
shit.
the
Fuck you
hypocrisy,
and your tribe.
demanding respect,
Chopped.
yet disrespecting others.
Chopped-o.
They grew tired of the constant outrage and the sense that any small inconvenience was part of a grand oppression. Critics argued she was weaponizing her trans
Have we ever considered that some people deserve oppression? Your legacy is that you're a chopped hoe who decides to fucking rage bait inside of restaurants, many of which are owned and employed by immigrants. Nice.
identity, not to advance
Like, your legacy is that you're castrated. You're a castrated nuisance. That is miserable and makes other people miserable. GG, go next. Like, I don't understand.
rights, but to deflect any accountability. And so, the narrative flipped. The same audience that cheered her on began to see a pattern of behavior that didn't feel authentic or righteous. It felt performative. In their eyes, Lily's dissent wasn't the result of opposition, it was self-inflicted. By turning every minor hurt into a crusade, she alienated people who once saw her as a leader.
Hi.
There's also, like, you know, no aura, nothing to cling on to, not even a guilty pleasure. Nothing about this person is attractive in, like, a ideological way. Like, oh, you know, maybe they got some controversy, but, you know, hot take, I still kind of like them. You know, like, Kanye has that kind of aura. He's got so many classics where even though he's saying, you know, some crazy shit on Twitter, a lot of people still fuck with him because he has aura. The Latino? Not a drop. Not a fucking drop.
Afflicted. By turning every minor hurt into a crusade, she alienated people who once saw her as a leader.
Hi. I'm a food critic and I travel around San Francisco with my phone.
Food critic? You a food critic, really? So that's what you post on your OnlyFans? The video where you dressed up as Velma and then you jumped up and down and then said, here's a big clue, and then pointed to your dick. That was like food critic? I don't know. Food critic, like when you're holding up cake pops and you're referring to them as cock and balls, like that's just a food critic thing. I didn't know that's what being a food critic was. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm not. I think that you're actually wrong, and I think that you should go to jail, and then in jail. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck you.
And stream my meals. Typically, for any meal, between like 75 and 100,000 people will witness the meal either live or after the fact. Would this be a good time for me to record my experience here? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave.
Good.
There's no one. Okay. I think they're like all watching me as I walk out. All right, well, goodbye. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to.
What a shitty look, too.
They're all just kind of looking at me from the kitchen, like.
Bro, weren't the 75,000 people looking at you, too, just through the screen?
Okay.
Hey, Cheeto, you know so much lore of the Latino, and I feel like none of it's willingly. Yeah, the fuck? None of this is, like, because I'm really interested in this. I'm gonna do some reading, like how someone would, on, like, history or world leaders. No, this is because I have a job that pays for me to criticize the lore and actions of mutants on the internet.
Yeah, it definitely is intimidating for it to be that many people, but there's several reasons I mention it. Is one, because I want them to know that it's not just like I'm a random person videoing my food, because it also lets them know, like, hey, enough people are going to be seeing this that you want to be sure to, like, be on your game, and also it could result in a free meal. So
One recurring issue is Lily Tino's shocking treatment of restaurant staff during her frequent live streams. Tino often broadcasts herself dining out, with her viewers paying for her meals via TikTok live donations, only for her to relentlessly complain about trivial issues and demand special treatment.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks so good though.
Am I still going to use the women's bathroom
Crazy
even
forehead.
if it's against like rules? Yeah, I think I will. As a statement, you know, if I like, for example, if I was in Florida, I was in Florida last week, and it was not allowed
What's going on
for
with
me
your
to be in the
head?
women's bathroom, I would still use the women's bathroom because that is
like
something that I feel
Voldemort.
strongly about. If they want to make us think about it, they can,
Looks like a
and I'm happy
founding
to make
father,
us think
yeah.
about it too. That's how we fight back, y'all. That's how we fight back. So acts of solidarity
terrorism
with our trans brothers and sisters and siblings.
In one instance, she badgered a waiter with endless questions about a salad dressing, even requesting a sample of it, seemingly just to create conflict. Night after night, she finds something wrong with her meal or service and demands to see managers, often trying to get employees reprimanded or even fired for minor mistakes. Observers have noted a pattern. She'll complain about a hair in her
What
food
is on your
while
like
her own
neck? Is that a microphone?
dog sits
Why?
nearby, shedding fur, then use the situation to score freebies or refunds. All the while, viewers are sending her hundreds of dollars
Disgusting.
in donations.
Right? Like I wake up, I do everything I do during the week.
Dude, I wish I had my
revolves
meals
around
paid
this
for.
because I love doing it. There are other things that I could do that might even be a way to, like, you know, accumulate more wealth.
I honestly need a palate cleanser. I need like a little Dark Age edit right about now. Or like one of those Juice World. Wasted. GTA love, bitches wasted. 1 second. Wasted. I needed that shit bad.
But I love doing it so much. But just be able to do this.
I needed that bad, bro. I had to reset my mental.
Streaming and not have to worry about finances for, you know, the rest of my life. I would.
Jesus Christ. What else?
The unseen operator addressed her as Sir over the intercom. Tino flew into a rage, despite the fact that the person couldn't even see her.
I am trapped in an elevator right now. I am not gonna lie, it's a little bit my fault because there's people who were in the elevator that came out while I was waiting for it and said, oh, hey, we're not sure this elevator is working, but like the elevator looked like it was working when they walked out, so I was like, what's the worst that could happen?
Bruh.
And I pressed the button and the door
Imagine you in an elevator with Lily Tino. You know how they say no jumping, bro? I'm just going up and down, and yeah, we're just gonna hope that we break it.
closed, and then the
Save that dog. On God, save that dog.
didn't work.
You know what's crazy? You take the nuts off. You know, you take the dog's nuts off. You neuter the dog. Is the dog a woman now? I'm just saying. My dog got neutered, and he's still a guy. You take off the dog cake pops, and it's still a dude. So what's the difference? I'm confused.
And now we're stuck here. I pressed the call button and it went to my apartment person. Of course, they called me sir as soon as I said hello.
Oh,
hello, sir.
God forbid.
Number
I don't
one,
give a
I'm not
fuck.
sir. Number two,
Yes, you
I'm
are.
trapped in an elevator.
I don't
in
care.
Delaware. I'd rather be stuck in an elevator,
Bro,
and
free bro.
called
Free bro.
man, than out of an elevator and called sir. And that's the truth.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, there's a little bit.
You're telling me you'd rather be trapped in an elevator for the rest of your life and be called ma'am than be outside and be free and be called sir? I don't buy it. Because there's no restaurants in an elevator. I had someone at my school who had a service dog saying it didn't matter how we referred to her since the dog had, she'd been sprayed. Your dog ain't non-binary, little bro. I had no idea what you're talking about.
Like that. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, it's working. I think it's working.
Imagine this your neighbor.
We did it.
This constant combative stance toward anyone who doesn't cater to
Damn, this is some George Washington chompers.
her expectations has been widely condemned. It's not just cisgender
We the people are
audiences who are
chompers.
appalled. Many feel Tino's antics feed into the worst stereotypes of privilege and petulance. By brazenly harassing service workers and boasting about it, she's painted herself as an influencer who thinks those below her should lose their only source of income for offending her. The serious
Yeah, Lily
real-world
Tino,
impact
not everyone can dress up as Velma on OnlyFans and point to their cock and balls and say, we have a big clue. Not everyone has that privilege.
is clear. She's attempting to punish low-wage employees
Yes.
to satisfy her ego.
Yes.
And viewers find it disgraceful.
It is disgraceful.
She's quick to take offense at other people's behavior, yet she's been guilty of some pretty despicable actions
I would agree with that.
herself.
Yes,
In a
true.
now infamous livestream clip, Tino appeared to call her pet dog Nugget a
Oh
racial
my
slur.
god! That awkward moment when you call your dog the hard R. Dude, I kind of fuck with this, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Imagine your dog's name is the hard R. Wait a second. I'm just gonna type the hard R in my search bar to see if I can find this. Dude, have you seen the meme where it was like the dog who died and the dog's name was the hard R? Rest in peace. I can't find it, but you guys have seen it.
The N-word.
Nugget. Nugget.
Now, this content creator's name
That is so funny. Ugh, I called my dog the hard R.
is Lily Tino, and the other night she was live on stream when she was going to tell her viewers something about her dog Nugget, but instead of saying her dog's name Nugget, she ended up saying another word that starts with an N, and like I said, she definitely should not be saying this word. Now, it seems like she said the word that starts with the letter N on accident, but I really don't understand how you accidentally say that word instead of nugget.
She later tried to claim it was an accident, insinuating she merged the words shiver and nugget together. But virtually no one bought that excuse. Viewers pointed out that you don't get that word by accident. Given Tino's track record, people believed this slip was no slip at all. It was an ugly reveal of language she had on the tip of her tongue. The incident only reinforced...
Want to know how I know this wasn't an accident, bro? Because if we take a look at, let's just say, the first evolution of Lily Tino, Nicholas over here.
...in her gender transition.
Let me just say... Let's just say that Nicholas, well, he looked like he might have said it a few times. Let me just say this Nicholas fella, you know, all I gotta say, I can see it. I can see this person ripping the hard R. The physiognomy does not lie. I've seen it. I've definitely seen it.
Not be saying this word. Now,
Bro
it
was
seems
in
like
the
she
OG
said the
COD
word
lobbies.
that starts with the letter N on accident, but I really don't understand how you accidentally say that word instead of nugget.
She later tried to claim it was an accident, insinuating she merged the words shiver and nugget together. But virtually no one bought that excuse. Viewers pointed out that you don't get that word by accident. Given Tino's track record, people believed this slip was no slip at all. It was an ugly reveal of language she had on the tip of her tongue. The incident only reinforced perceptions of her as overtly racist, and it attracted intense backlash. Now, just a few months ago, Lily Tino just unveiled a brand new face, crediting a mid-five-figure facial feminization package. Brow bone, an orbital shave.
Hold on a second. That legitimately, so that's like 50 bands for a new fucking face. A new face. Paying 50 bands for this. Yeah, you need a refund. This is horrible. 50 band SKUs. I feel like you just take that to mines, you know? Wanted, dead, or a wild. Buy a chain, I don't know.
Rhinoplasty, lip lift, jaw taper, and a likely
jaw taper?
Tracheal shave, all revealed in a slick TikTok montage that racked up 500,000 views in 24 hours.
It has been 20 days since my FFS. About 70% of the swelling is gone, but it'll take another year or two for the rest of it to go down.
The way I see it is like you take that 50K to blackjack, okay? Let's just say you lose it all. You won because now you're not getting this face surgery. You know, you lose, or if you lose, you win, and if you win, you just win. Okay?
So let me show you around my new face. For reference, here's what I looked like before. First up is the hairline. You can see that it has been moved forward. The line is pretty pronounced right now, but it will fade over time. You might also be wondering about this little dent right here. That is internal stitching, and it will go away in a few weeks. Now,
Nice.
my nose is quite swollen, and that will go down over time.
Roman
but
nose
look,
shape.
you can see it's way more of a ski slope now. Also, my brow bone is way less pronounced. My surgeon said that the brow would probably be the thing that made
Looks
the
maxing
most
terminology.
difference in the beginning to feminize my face, and I tend to agree with them. Now, my lips haven't changed, but they went through my lower mouth to get to my jaw. It's hard to see the result here right now because there is a lot of swelling, but over time you'll see that it is much softer. And last but not least, the Adam's apple is gone. I want to give a huge shout out to my
Damn.
mom who took care of me as I
The
recovered. My
fuck?
mom actually extended her
Bro, this
trip
shit's just-
several times to take care of me because I got COVID in the hospital. That made recovery a whole lot harder,
Bro.
but luckily I had a wonderful support network of friends as well that helped me walk my dog and brought food and did all these wonderful things. And I'm super excited for y'all to come on my healing journey as my face settles in over the next few years.
Supporters flooded the comments with hearts, but skepticism hit just as fast. Two reaction channels slowed her before and after frames and argued the changes
Wait,
were
what?
mostly filter work, calling the surgery story another sympathy grift. On Reddit, users traced a spike in livestream donations. During the week, she staged restaurant confrontations, claiming viewers basically bankrolled her makeover, while still asking for healing snack money, prompting
That's actually pathetic. If you finance this, you need to be banned from breathing. Anyway, that's the video. Leave a like, subscribe. We're keeping the internet sane by reacting to this stuff. That's my job. I am your daily dose of sanity. I'll see you guys next time.